Welcome back, my dark meats, to the Dark Void, ruled by me, Nile51. And today we're watching an analog horror by 4+. I watched this video once before, like a while back ago. Decided, let's go back to analog horror, watch it myself, and watch 4+, start saying what the other creepy stuff he's been looking up. This one's about analog horror that may trigger sleep paralysis. So people, be careful right here. Warning, you know that. Warning, you may be hit by sleep paralysis. Also, if you're a fan of the background, it's like freaking hot. It's like summer's like getting to me right now, and I'm trying to look up videos that are like short right now. This is 16 minutes long, so hopefully that's enough. But like I said, I'm trying to find videos that are short because I do not want to make any longer videos than like that I need to be, because it's freaking hot, which is going to be pain when I play video games. Whew. Alright, whatever, let's begin. 4+, take it away. Show us why this may trigger sleep paralysis. Let's begin. Okay, we're starting off nicely. Oh my god. Alright, we're starting off nicely. That's oh my god. Yeah, we're starting off. This is good. This is good.
I am sure a handful of you have had the dreaded experience known as sleep paralysis. I know I have. And boy, is it never fun. One time I was told by a professional that sleep paralysis is so odd because it isn't really ever consistent. The next time it happens could be the last time it ever happens to you. Or you could be cursed to live through hell for the next 5 nights. I imagine situations change if you are someone who likes to force a lucid dream, considering a side effect of that is accidentally putting yourself into sleep paralysis.
Yep.
Good job, buddy. But why am I talking about sleep paralysis, you may
Now, first of all,
really
is it
series of videos
is there like a hot chick running around? I'm sorry.
Trespassing and Trespassing 2. And when I tell you, I got pretty freaked out.
Oh,
I
freak?
know I say that for a lot of things here, but what I have for you all today gave me a lot of Skinamarink vibes. And if you have been a fan of the channel for a while now, you know how badly that movie scared me. Needless to say, I will be watching this series with one earpiece hanging off. However, another thing I noticed within the video is that it really seemed like this will have something to do with sleep paralysis, which I feel is rarely depicted accurately, unless I'm just looking in the wrong places. But if you stick around to the end of this video, I'll be sharing probably one of the worst sleep paralysis experiences I have ever had the displeasure of having. But as always, be sure to check out the original series before jumping on over here to brave the nightmares as a group. But enough yapping. It's time to get into our protective gear.
If you want to watch this without my voice, I forgot to say that.
Go to sleep knowing that horrors will await us.
But before I let you get too far, there's just one more piece of gear you'll probably need, and that is the sponsor of today's video, Manta Sleep. Manta Sleep makes high-quality sleep masks to fit all your resting needs.
Now, while he's doing that, so I gotta say this: I had never had sleep paralysis, but I did watch a video one time.
100% blackout. I know someone who could really use
I'm going to need to put a warning on that.
Were kind enough to send me over the Manta Sound Mask.
I'm going to need to put a flashlight warning on that point.
No need for
as I was saying,
listening to your podcast, background noise,
as I was saying,
music,
it is very
battery life is
I watched the video.
So unless you sleep for that long, this
that had knocking in it.
But if that's
I was falling asleep.
There's plenty of other
I heard knocking outside my window, and you know what?
Cool
mask. And part of that video was with a girl standing over, like standing in a corner.
Crazy person. All throughout
and you know what?
And the fact that this mask doesn't.
I'm not opening my eyes. I'm just gonna. I don't care if I don't sleep for like an hour or two. I'm not opening my eyes. I'm hearing knocking out the window. I'm not going to. That's not happening. I'm not opening. Nope, not happening. Not happening. Nope.
Better yet, the first 500 customers to shop.
Nope, not happening.
Founder's favorite.
So I'm talking over this, but I was just telling you that.
Free.
I was not. I'm not about to look on. I was not about to look that up. I was not about to open my eyes.
Check out to get 10%
now, if it was sleep paralysis and I had no choice, I just have to hope that it's a hot girl demon walking towards me. But I highly doubt that. I highly doubt it.
See in this tape is a recording labeled Trespassing, and it's easy to miss. But right before scene transitions, we can see some more text appear. All it says is, "Something awful is in my house."
Okay.
We slowly fade into this scene where it looks like we are in the POV of someone laying in their room. We end up getting another look at the room from a different angle before we are taken to what looks to be either the bedroom door or closet door. When I tell you, I nearly had a heart attack.
Sorry, basically an ad popped out there.
We cut to black and are taken back to that first frame. Except out from the side, our little friend decides to visit, and ends up speaking to us.
Not really. I have my headphones.
Captions that tell us what he is saying, but it sounds like a deep, garbled mess. If I ever saw something like this in any of my sleep paralysis experiences, you would never catch me going to sleep again.
Oh yeah.
The text at the bottom ends up reading, "You're in those conditions again," before our screen ends up glitching out entirely.
Oh my
and
god.
the figure moves off frame. The text, "You're in those conditions again," then flashes a bunch of times on screen. This is leading me to believe that our main character here is likely suffering from some type of life event that is causing a lot of stress. And stress leads to bad sleep, and sometimes bad sleep can lead to sleep paralysis. So whatever conditions our character has found themselves having,
I have had nightmares before, but not in my dreams.
However, who knows? We end up arriving at our next segment, which has us looking down this hallway as a camera frequently takes photos, lighting up the scene. This happens a number of times before we briefly see the door.
I really gotta put a flashing light warning.
However, all help.
Like before that
The
other one.
screen begins to glitch, and text appears at the bottom that just says, "See me." We end up cutting to the super dark footage, but you can kinda make out a shadowy figure lurking in the grain.
Not really.
We get our first full look at whatever this nightmare creature is.
Oh my god.
I am curious what the mini frame of flowers is supposed to mean.
I don't know, but
Right? Again, we see the text, "those same conditions." Interestingly enough, that frame sort of acted like a sensor to hide the creature's face. Maybe our character tried to fight his nightmare with forced positive mental imagery.
yeah, that is a shy guy.
Kind of fuels this theory. We end up looking at many more fields of flowers. Text at the bottom appears that says "refused. 2 weeks until my appointment." What am I not understanding? This phrase then gets flashed a couple times. 2 weeks until my appointment, and over 2 terabytes of footage. My headaches aren't getting better, and now I'm starting to see things in my room. We end up getting this block of text right here, but I, for the life of me, could not read it.
Okay.
Life is so beautiful. Life was so beautiful. No longer safe. Something awful. Something awful is in my house. We end up cutting to black, and again another green field appears on screen. But this time, the flashing photos have
Are you trying to?
with text reassuring each time that nothing is
I
there.
really gotta put a flashing light
At one
warning.
point, no photo gets taken, and the text says, "Try again." But then the photos continue on. However, to
Are you trying? Is he trying to touch
our
grass?
friend decides to make an appearance.
Oh, hello.
Even
gonna
our
get-
text saying nothing is there has vanished. I mean, it'd be lying at that point. Once the creature is gone, the photos start to take more rapidly, showing our character is likely doing this himself, and it's not on some automated system. No wonder he has 2 terabytes of footage. The flashing ends up taking a pause, and sure enough, our friend shows up for his final scene.
Oh my god. So because I don't trust you? Yeah, I know. Oh my god. Were you?
It almost looks like either the what did I fucking type? It almost looks like either the creature or our charter that
Did you say? For,
camera and heads for one of the doors.
hold on, I gotta.
to
So
which
I
all
don't
we
usually
get
do this,
is
but I gotta go
text.
back on the. Hold up. What did you just say? No, F the thing.
It almost looks like either the It almost looks either what did I fucking type? It almost
I
looks
bet
like
you
either
he said it was almost like freaking, you know,
picks up
some.
the camera.
This one has some big ones in the front.
To which all we get is
I don't usually do that, but
before the tape ends. This was definitely harrowing to say the least so far. I really liked that one flower
I had to say this. Is
because it really seemed like we were inside someone's mind.
Does the monster have saggy things?
Peaceful scene and trying to
Has some
calm
saggy
themselves
pillows or
by
what?
reminding them their appointment is soon, which I imagine has to relate to the situation at hand. The description of this video actually gives us some more insight into that situation. Doctor's note, July 1st, 2010. Patient should continue taking his medication until our next appointment in 2 weeks. Recommendations. Patient should record with a camera provided when the hallucinations start again. We will review the footage next time to reassure them that the hallucinations are not real.
My butt they
Dr.
are.
June Bennett. I'm glad that as of this moment, it isn't clear if the creature is real or not. This very well could just be a hallucination or a sleep paralysis episode.
Hopefully.
But if that creature turns out to be real, I'd like to see Dr. June Bennett explain how that is. Trespassing 2. We open up on our second tape witnessing the exact same thing we saw at the end of tape 1.
And also, does it have
with a
saggy
giant
pillows in the
creature
front?
seemingly
Oh my
attacking our character, and potentially killing him. And I'm not too sure if I'm right here, but either our character didn't die and got away, hence
Oh God!
or the creature has picked up the camera and has decided to film his own journey. We get the text once again that just says outside, but we quickly flash to this white connecting screen. It appears that our footage gets loaded, but we then see the text out of range bouncing around. Oh, son of a bitch. However, right when it looks like the text is going to hit the corner, we are tricked and met with something much scarier and louder instead.
Oh my God. Sorry, an ad what happened there.
It goes on for a bit, but our creature that we see looks a little different than the one we saw before. Unless it can shapeshift, this one's neck is easily a lot more snake-like than that of the previous humanoid monster. We also consistently get the text out of bounds once again.
The heck?
Curious as to what this is supposed to mean.
I don't know.
What exactly is out of bounds?
What the f-
We quickly end up cutting to our next scene, which just has us looking at an honestly peaceful night sky, which I doubt is going to last for long. However, we end up cutting to inside this house, and it looks like one of the doors is open. Is this the same house we were in before, owned by our character? We end up holding onto this shot for a little bit until background noises oddly go silent, and we get another quick visit.
oh my God.
To this footage segment where we can see we are out of bounds again, and I'm not really sure what it is I'm looking at here. It almost looks like our character or monster potentially looking up at the stars, or this is some visualization of a nightmare happening in real time.
What is happening
The
here?
segment doesn't last long as we end up cutting to found footage format, following someone as they check their closet. I imagine this has to be our same character. We end up climbing into bed, but after a bit, we once again return to that strange footage. Except this time, even our time at the top is messed up. But as to be expected, another visitor then arrives. As a matter of fact, we get 2 visitors.
Oh my God. What the f- Don't move my- don't-
Guess
up!
right now and say that whenever we are seeing grainy footage with the white border,
Ooh.
a nightmare. And anything outside of that is reality. But once
Dude,
we
I
cut to the
literally
segment
got
with
chilled.
a tall, shadowy figure, I believe we have entered paralysis. Text like
Yeah.
it can't see you if you keep your eyes closed and don't move, when it likely should say can't move. But now this terrifying monster is under our bed, proven by the text. Check under your bed.
Heck no!
Hiding there. Hell no.
No.
I guess we're doing
Nope.
We hang ourselves over and peek under the bed.
Oh
Sure
God.
enough, we can see those 2 white eyes in the dark. The text just repeats right there, right there.
The heck
Turn
was
it on.
this?
And for some odd reason, we decide to turn our light on.
Oh my butt.
We return to the middle of the bed, but this creature is not letting up. And I gotta say, coming from someone who has had a plethora of sleep paralysis experiences,
Dude, I
this
sleep
is
on
when
the
my
floor.
worst fears come to life.
Heck with this. This is what I used to have a freaking bed that has stuff on the. Oh my God.
The last thing we end up seeing on this tape is just this haunting face in the dark, before we cut to black. And that was certainly something. I gotta say, I feel like it has taken a lot longer than expected for analog horror to go into the realm of sleep paralysis, at least to this extent. I honestly think the majority of what we witnessed within these 2 tapes were hallucinations/nightmares. You can't deny the ending of our last tape was a
Oh, yeah.
straight-up sleep paralysis episode displayed on screen. The repeated text begging to move. And something I personally related to was the idea that whatever is with you can't see you if you keep your eyes closed. Whenever I realize I am experiencing sleep paralysis, you bet your ass my eyes stay as shut as can be.
Oh yeah.
I'm not taking any chances with what I may see.
Oh yeah.
There seemed to be a little bit of a hint at the end of the first tape that our creature may in fact be real, considering the photos being taken
God.
literally showed it. So I suppose
Oh my
it's still
God.
possible that there is something larger at play tormenting our character. But I think as of this moment, a lot of it is in his head. I found it fascinating that we got to see a visualization of someone who goes to bed, has nightmares, and sometimes those nightmares bleed into the waking life through either paralysis or hallucinations. I like that this didn't seem to try and be some grand big story with multiple characters and monsters.
Sorry, my brain just.
Series
it's just-
characters struggling with sleep disorders.
Hey,
and
God.
how detrimental that can be if left unchecked, making this probably one of the more frightening bundle of horror videos I have covered so far. It just hits a little too close to home
Oh man.
to capture the intensity of being
Dude,
unable to
this-
move, trapped
Even though I had
inside
never had
your
sleep
sleeping
paralysis.
body very well. For anyone who has had the pleasure to never experience sleep paralysis, consider yourself lucky.
Yeah, but that
But
still
if I
creeps me out, though.
remember correctly, I said that I would tell my own personal sleep paralysis tale
Alright, let's see
at the
it.
end here for all of you that stuck around.
Let's
A
hear
little
it.
bit of context, however, to how my sleep paralysis experiences usually feel like. For me, it feels like waking up from a dream, and then once I go to move, I just can't. It feels like the gravity of the Earth has been dialed up to max. However, and this may sound odd, it feels like I can make slight movements, even though in reality, I don't think I'm moving at all. So it almost feels like an out-of-body experience where my body is literally trapped, but it still feels like I'm able to sometimes at least roll around in bed. It's a huge struggle to move an inch, but it feels like I'm doing it.
Oh my
The best way to
god.
describe it is it feels like the closest to astral projecting as someone could get, if you believe in that sort of stuff. Initially, I believed I may have been sleepwalking, since there were times where it felt like I was walking, barely, around my house, fully awake, except I wasn't. But with all that out of the way, let's get into this horrifying bit. So one
Alright.
night, I was out house sitting, and sure enough, in the middle of the night, I woke up, unable to move. Once this was figured out, the eyes slammed shut and stayed shut. And usually, I just try to make it to where my thoughts are as loud as possible as to drown out any possible auditory hallucinations I'd rather not hear. But that didn't work this time.
Oh
From
man.
what it sounded like, something just entered the room and shut the door.
Now? Oh,
And then I
God.
heard the bone-crunching sounds as whatever this creature was crouched down to the floor and crawled as fast as possible over to the side of the bed I was sleeping on.
Oh god.
Thankfully, the immense panic that ensued afterwards was enough to bring me out of it, but I would be lying if I said getting any sleep after that was definitely tough. Last experience would have probably been a couple weeks ago, but best case scenario is just a period of being unable to move that I can break out of in about 45 seconds.
That's
However,
good.
worst case scenario is it feels like hours and nothing is working. But on that lovely note, I hope you all enjoyed these duo of videos as much as I did.
Man.
The channel Black MES is full of all kinds of horror
What the
content. The trespassing duology is just the tip of the iceberg, so I recommend you check out some more of their works. I know this video is a little on the shorter end, but as always,
Oh, don't worry, it's fine.
You stuck around to the end. As always, be sure to keep leaving
No,
your
it's fine.
recommendations down
I'm
below,
terrified.
whether it be in the YouTube comments or the
That-
community Discord.
That literally gave me chills, like,
limbed creature. I'm under all your beds.
hey!
If you'll excuse me. It's
My
me,
bed's on the
bed,
floor.
And me and the Hat Man have a scheduled meeting.
Alright. With that, I'm gonna pause there because it's already in. But yeah, my gosh, seriously, whoo! Man, that gave me chills at that point. Like, usually I don't get chills at these. For some reason I don't get chills because I think my brain's just putting up a barrier. But that one, I don't know why, but it just it just all of a sudden when you saw that monster, but all the monsters like all of a sudden just appeared and just coming out of the dark and just it wasn't jump scare. They didn't use the jump scare noise, but it was like, oh my god, they just popped out and just, oh my god, what in the freak. Also, my bed is against the wall because my bed, it goes to the floor. I used to, look, I'm gonna tell you this, that I had the same experience, but, well, not sleep paralysis, but I'm gonna tell you this, I used to have a bed that was on its own legs, and sometimes, for no reason, my brain would just say, hey, would just remember, just would realize that I'm sleeping on legs right now. My bed is on legs right now. And all of a sudden my brain would just make me terrified that, oh man, please, no. Please. Like, literally it would make me think that there's something under my bed. Now, just to let you know, I have looked under my bed multiple times. Not because of its scariness or nothing, but just because curiosity, just, why not? What do I have down here? What's down here? My brain never activated those times. It's just it randomly does it. It's just, hey, you know you're on legs and there's probably something down there. It randomly happens. It literally, when I did this, every time I got off my bed, it's just that, okay, is there something going to grab my leg? Is something going to go and grab my leg? It's like, grab my ankle or something. It's just, oh my god. Every time with that, it's always like that. But I just, you know what, there's nothing underneath there. I just got to get out of bed. Also, I would have jumped, but my chair's like in the way. Like back in my other place, before we were forced to move out, is that we were like there. I have a chair like literally right in front of my bed, so I can get up and watch TV. Like it was insane. But either way, yeah, my brain literally, so I couldn't jump. But literally, my brain always has that. Sometimes I don't, and I completely forgot that happened, and then I just go back to normal. But randomly, my brain just says, hey, your bed's on legs. You know you don't have to do that, right? But now I don't have to deal with that anymore. my bed's on the floor and it will always stay on the floor. I don't care what anyone thinks. I will rather have my bed on the floor than have to deal with anything that possibly might live down there. Also, I never had sleep paralysis. But if you guys ever do, try to imagine the monster as a hot waifu, just a hot lady coming towards you, and then hopefully that will help you get through it. I'm not saying that'll help. I'm just saying that may help. Because if I ever have sleep paralysis and I'm forced to wake up and I see something crawl, like running around, I'm going to do whatever I can to make sure that this gets transformed into a hot monster lady. Hey, it's the only way I'm going to get through that night. Also, like I said, you have to know, you should know this by now. I don't care what species female lady is. That it's freaking happening. I have my monster effort card for a reason. Oh yes. Now, yes. Anyway, man, this is so bad. He probably might watch this and freaking see this at the end and just be wondering what the heck I'm talking about. But either way, I hope you enjoyed this video. Please go watch this guy's video, 4+. He does some great videos. I mean, I watched the dinosaur one a while back, like a long time ago, and it was great. I liked it. It was freaking interesting to see it. Go watch him, please. He's like doing some great work. And also, I will leave the link down below for you guys to watch it without my beautiful voice, so you can watch all that. And I will leave a flashing light warning before the first one happens, so that way you know to be ready. Alright, that's about it. Hope you enjoyed today's video. Comment, subscribe down below to join my dark army. You know this right now. It's starting to get hot in here again, and it's night. Oh yeah. Like I said, comment, subscribe down below to join my dark army. You guys have no choice. Literally, you got no choice. I mean, at this point, you should know this by now. You got no choice. Like and share the video to also help spread my influence around. Glaze it everywhere. Take that as you will. Don't forget to basically press and also to help my influence grow faster. And don't forget, like I said, take it as you will. And my dark, I swear, there's something missing from my outro. I still don't know why. I need to look up my old outros, my old videos. Alright, for right now, my dark. Should I say analog minions? Yeah, what the heck not. Now, my dark analog minions. Dismiss!